A preview menu option has now been added to allow you to change the method of calculation for the index limit on a terminal part. By default, FeatureCAM will actually calculate a cylinder around the corner limits of a rectangular bounding box that is based on the size of the stock. What this does is actually result in an unnecessary extension of the index position around the part when using a stock solid. The new preview option actually calculates limits based on the size of the solid revolve. This gives a much more efficient index distance that is closer to the part. So in this example, I've already done some sort of previous machining, and what I want to do is just do effectively a gear shape around the outside of this component. If I go to the part view, you can see we've got a pattern and we've got a single groove. If I go ahead and just play a centerline simulation, you can see the passes making their way around the part. We've just got some simple grooves using a tapered tool. If I look at the front of the part, you can see here we have quite a large distance around the outside of the part where the tool is indexing in each instance. If I was to take a measurement of this though, and in this case we're going to look at the size of our Z rapid plane, in this case 25mm from our part. If I go ahead and just say show all, note I have some geometry here, so I have a circle that represents the outside edge of my part, and then I have a circle that represents 25mm above the component. If we were to look at this, we can clearly see that our index position is a lot further out than we expect. So why is this? Well, let's have a look at the stock itself. If I go into my stock, you can see I've got a user defined and I've chosen to use a stock solid. What FeatureCAM does in the background is actually it uses a block. So if I go ahead and select a block, just say apply, you'll notice I get a block around the component like so. FeatureCAM then calculates a bounding cylinder around the external limits of this block. We can see this if I go ahead and look at these two surfaces which I've placed on another level. Let's go into the layer dialog, turn on limit surfaces, say OK. We can see the 25mm surface that I'd expect, and we can see this outer surface which, if we look again down this view, you can see this is taken into account the limits of that box. Let's go and reselect my stock again. Again, user defined. I'm going to choose my stock solid. Say OK. If I replay that centerline simulation, you can see we are 25mm clear above this outer limit. So to rectify this, I'm just going to turn off my surfaces. We can use our preview menu just by pressing the control key and right click. And here you can see calculate index radius from stock solid. If I select that option and then recalculate the toolpath, you can now see the distance is a lot closer to the part. This makes for a much more efficient machining process. If I was to look from the front view, you can now see that 25mm that I expected.